We're going to go straight into the artist panel now. East meets West, which will feature Damian Lazarus and Nervo, as well as some top artists from this region.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Haz. I am the music director here at the W Singapore Sentosa Cove. Welcome to the artist panel. Music is definitely one of our passion points here at the W, and I think it's important for us to know what the market is like here in Asia, where we are growing a lot in the next few years. So East meets West. So I have these talented individuals with me. We'll start from Arjun from India.
Hi.
Celeste from Thailand.
Hello, Swadika.
Damian Lazarus, UK.
Morning.
Mian Liv, Nervo, Australia.
Hello. Hi.
Hola.
And my old friend Jeremy Boon from Zouk, Singapore.
Hi.
All right, let's begin. Quick one. I'm intrigued by India, first and foremost. So maybe Arjun, you can start. Sure. I heard you're a techno DJ based in India. I'm very intrigued by that. And can you tell us a bit more about the underground scene then, where you're based?
The underground scene in India is actually growing really rapidly. It's, as you know, I always say, kids getting into EDM will always dig deeper and they'll find the underground, and I'm happy with that. We started doing the underground thing 15 years ago in India. It's taken a long time. It's been an uphill battle, but the scene is very vibrant. We have some amazing venues. We have great festivals. And we have a lot of local talent that are ready to break out internationally. So it's growing. It's very strong. All we need is a little more push in the country. I think the EDM side of things is sort of taken care of now, and we need to put some effort into the underground and sort of build it up a little bit more.
Cool. Any cool collectives to look out for? Interesting parties? Do you even promote your own parties?
Yeah, we do. We basically have a booking agency called Unmute, where we manage about 25, 30 of the best underground acts in the country. We do our own showcase called Reset, which is more of a warehouse kind of thing. And we purely do it with local talent. We don't book international acts, because we just want to prove to the fact that we've got talent within the country, and it's important to have your local scene strong. And only if you have a local strong scene can you actually build a better international scene, so to speak.
Cool. And then I saw the stats regarding that festival. Your Sunburn, is it, or Sundown?
Yeah, Sunburn's huge. We've got another festival called Supersonic. There are a lot coming into India now.
So what are the next up-and-coming ones that for us to see in India if we were to check it out?
Like I was saying, there's this festival called Supersonic, which is happening in Goa as well, which has a brilliant lineup this year, actually. It's really good. They're promoting the underground as well as doing the whole EDM thing. We've got a lot of other festivals. There's one by this company called OML.
Right.
They do multi-genre festivals, but they do it in various different cities throughout the year. And production, crowd is just phenomenal. Festivals are popping up. You've got festivals that happen in Rajasthan, in the desert, which is, they do a more boutique kind of festival there. You've got festivals happening in South India, in the hills. Another festival called Storm, weirdly enough. But they have a very eclectic Indian as well as international lineup. There are a lot of small boutique festivals popping up all over the country. So there's a festival explosion, basically. People are really getting into it. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to quickly jump to Damian. You can tell us about your Indian experience, and also a question regarding Lover's Eyes, because it's meets West. You have such a tune this summer. Maybe you can tell a bit about the inspiration behind it and the success behind the tune?
Yeah, well, I'm a recent convert to India, just starting to discover it, and I had a pretty mind-blowing experience in Jaipur very recently. Not so much on a musical level, but just on a general cultural, personal level. And it came at a time when I was starting to think about writing my new album, and inspired by that trip, I looked into working with, collaborating with artists from various different cultures around the world. And I came across the music of the Qawwalis, and was lucky enough to collaborate with two of the legendary Qawwali singers from Pakistan. Farid Ayez and Abu Muhammad. And Lover's Eyes is, for me, I guess the combination of East meets West, if you like. The My House and techno kind of underground, trippy sounds combined with a Sufi trance-like force of nature. So yeah, I was very, very happy to have released that this year, and as part of my new album that comes out next year.
Right, I think, yeah, like you said, it's a very interesting mix of a genre. And what's your perspective of Asia with regards to the music that you are delivering?
Again, just still starting to discover it, really. I feel it's pretty new. I think that EDM is obviously very big in the Asian market right now. I've been playing in places like Japan and Hong Kong for many years, but I think that there's a new market, if you like, about to explode in the more underground sound of what we do in house and techno. I think it's a very exciting time. We're actually about to run the first Rebel Rave stage at Sunburn in a couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's only my second time in India, so I'm very fortunate to have been asked to curate that. So I'm looking forward to playing there. So yeah, it's a pretty new scene for me, really.
I'm sure we'll welcome you back anytime. Okay, let's move to Celeste. We'll talk about Thailand for a little bit. You can talk about Bangkok in terms of the music scene there, how it's changed in the last 5 years with regards to the EDM scene right now.
Bangkok is changing a lot. It's growing faster and in bigger. So if you notice in Bangkok, we just have a big fall festival just last month. Like every weekend, we have Water Sonic, we have Arcadia, we have like more festival, and the crowd is packed. Like last couple of days ago, Area Festival, they separate room, big room with the EDM, which is probably 8,000 people packed. Another room, they separate gen with techno, like a local diary, Houghton, Hot Scene 82, also good crowd, like a 2,000 people packed that room. I think Bangkok crowd, Thai people respond about electronic music very well, and they're hungry to explore more, and it's going very good direction.
There is Wonder Fruit, the festival that's happening next week, right? I think it's a pretty cool lineup as well. Quick question. We saw a stat that it's like there's a growing trend with female DJs in Asia. It's a big number of female DJs, like a trendy thing. Is there a particular reason why, you think?
I think it's growing very like a trendy fashion, I would say. I think it's because female DJ is easy to sell, like as a product. Like a client maybe like to see a pretty woman playing music, more than male. But I would like to see more female DJ concentrate selling more music than just a pretty face. But I think industry is growing pretty good.
Right, so you think it's half-half. Some do it for music, and some it's a bit more like a fashionable kind of thing.
Yes, we have two guys of female DJ right now.
Okay, interesting. All right, okay, who shall I start with? Okay, the Nervo girls last. Okay, my dear friend, Jeremy Boon.
Hi.
He's been around with Zouk from the very beginning. Actually, I had many memorable times DJing with him at Zouk. Maybe you can share with us your journey throughout the last 20 years, how music has changed, or what you see the difference between then and now with regards to the EDM scene right like today.
Well, I'm quite blessed and have the opportunity to be like the forefront of dance music in Asia, especially with a vision from our owner Lincoln, that his idea is to bring West to the East, and where in Zouk, right, the East where actually meets West. So we believe in the scene is going on in UK. So back then was just house music, which is getting really exciting, where lots of people who travel around the world, they know about that. So it wasn't easy back then. So you can simply say Zouk are the only club that actually play house music. The rest is just top 40 music. They just play music that's based on the US Billboard chart. So they didn't believe that music and clubbing can come together. So we persevere, we move on, we continue doing that. So it's come from a core of people who believe in good music, and then it starts to grow. And then when it starts to grow, right, eventually you grow to love better music, and you get musicians coming in and start to get interested in what's going on, in the club scene, why people is like having a good time and all that. So sub-genres start to come in, which is a good thing. It keeps things exciting every 2 to 3 years, and then you get new generation coming all the time. So house music reached a point where we needed something fresh. So EDM came about, which is good in a way. You bring a whole new generation. So with this new EDM generation, right, you will bring about sub-genres of whatever, who knows? But it's a good thing. So I think it's really positive what's going on now in Singapore.
Sorry, cool. With regards to all these festivals that are coming in, I think AFMFA is coming next year and a few other festivals. What do you think of the competition for Zouk?
Well, we always believe in good competition, because only competition will just make us want to do better. In fact, we always compete against ourselves. We try not to do whatever you did the year before. So with this added competition, it's actually good for the whole industry, actually.
But do you think it will pollute in terms of the content that we get, because we're such a small city here? So it's a bit more challenging for you to curate, having all these like different parties and festivals all together?
Well, not really. You only give the clubbers more choices.
Okay, Zouk out this year. What can we expect?
Well, we tried something different. It's like it's really more exciting this year. What we do is we try to make both stages different. One would be more the big EDM kind of thing, and then the other one is the house and techno. So we try to curate the place and the whole venue and the vibe to suit the music that is going to be played there.
How many people are you expecting this time?
Well, 40,000.
40,000. Let's see. Okay. Thanks, Jeremy. Okay, to the Nervo girls. You guys, I think you've been traveling so much, right? How much of your bookings or your gigs are for Asia?
Well, I would say this year, at the end of this year and next year, we're going to be based here quite a lot, aren't we? But I would say over the last 4 years, I would say 20 to 25% of our gigs we would have done within Asia. We travelled India for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Last year?
Last December,
Oh.
I think it was.
God, a year goes quickly, doesn't it? It does. And we've really felt, because on Facebook how you can check where your fans are coming from, we really felt the instant pull from
India.
When we went there. It was pretty, like their online community was quite, aggressive and alive. So that was a big plus for us and made us realise that, we have to come here more and really explore this region more.
I remember you saying earlier that when you guys played India, and then it was amazing how your social media just rocketed after your presence in India. You want to share that?
Yeah, I think it was almost like 20,000 fans overnight after playing the festival.
I think a lot of it had to do with how it was promoted as well, because as we were travelling around these towns, you could see a lot of flyers and you could see the promoters were really excited about the festivals that they were putting on. So even if they weren't 20,000 people that were at the festival, it was definitely buzzing in the cities.
Defining moments where you're like, wow, Asia is the spot.
We've had so many, haven't we?
We're Asian obsessed, because being Australian but living in the UK, you miss out on the Asian fusion a little bit. So
we love the food.
We do love the food.
It's a big plus.
And I would say Japan has always been incredible for us. We, just for, I guess, shits and giggles, we put together a compilation and we called it Nervolution. And it was releases that we had already released.
Yeah, it was basically a whole lot of old singles that had been and gone. But we thought, hey, we're going to be out in Japan for Summer Sonic. I think it was Summer Sonic,
Yeah.
sorry, right? So we put together an EP of these 5 tracks and really didn't expect anything to happen, but it went #1 on iTunes. on the dance charts. It did really well for us. So
it proved to us that we have to kind of be there and work that, you
Yeah.
know, that area and meet the record labels and do the press and all that kind of stuff.
And, you know, there are definitely opportunities in the releasing of music around our touring as well for these areas. So that was really exciting to see.
And it was nice to pump energy into records that we had thought had already come and gone.
Okay, your journey to success. Any inspirations, advice you can share for whoever wants to follow that Nervo path? You know.
Oh, we still have a long way to go, I think. We get asked this a lot, and I just think you have to work really hard. You have to get better and better at your craft, and I think the harder you work, the luckier you get.
And your future projects, what's going on next? Any interesting projects coming up?
Yes, well, apart from touring, we are going to be releasing our first album. So that should be coming out in, I think, April next year.
Oh,
Maybe
nice.
May. It keeps getting pushed back, but soon, hopefully.
Well, back to Arjun. What are your future plans for your side and then pushing that underground scene?
I think immediate plan for me is actually for 2015. Actually, for me and my agency is to sort of bring Asia together. I think as a continent, Asia Pacific is large, but we're still so close, right? I mean, physically. So I think it's important to have a sort of exchange happening between different countries in the region. For a long time, India especially has been, sort of shun out from Asia Pacific. Nobody really looks at India. I mean, it wasn't even on the touring calendar, right, a few years ago. It's just come in. But the scene in India has been around for a very long time, and we have, like I said, a lot of acts. So for me, immediately, the plan is to really reach out and try and see. I've been playing a little bit in Asia. I played Boon earlier this year, which was fantastic. I'm playing in Singapore next year. I have a couple of bookings. But I think it's important now to sort of bring different established artists within Asia, bring them together and sort of, help build the Asia scene, and bring that up as well. I mean, it's well and good to, import in talent, but it's also important to cultivate what you have around you. And I know for a fact that there are a lot of really, really talented producers and DJs within this region. I mean, I get sent so much music from people around here. And it's just, it's important to sort of give them a platform and, or rather bring all of us together and help all our careers kind of grow,
And Celeste, future plans for your scene in Bangkok?
My scene in Bangkok that actually we planning to have our first party, launching monthly. Gonna start the first one on 14 December, and we're gonna plan to have our own festival. And because we think even now the scene is coming up with EDM, but we would like to add more genres of the music to people to explore for the electronic music scene in Bangkok, which is we want to add more art in it, plus music and more house music. We want to add more possibility to people to enjoy more music and educate people more about electronic music scene.
Damian, have you heard of any cool, interesting artists or producers or musicians that you want to work with, potentially?
That I am working with, or
Oh, for the future, in the future,
Oh, for
new
the
ones,
future.
or somebody to look out for.
No one that springs to mind. I can tell you about Francesca Lombardo, who's signed to Crosstown Rebels, who at Wonder Fruit Festival in Thailand next week will play a live set with the Bangkok Symphony Orchestra. So this is a really interesting and exciting opportunity for Francesca to expose her music and connect with the people in Thailand. I don't know, for me, recently I've been trying to find my real calling, my real place in this world of music, and I've come to realize that the places and the times when I feel most at ease and most creative when I'm playing in deserts and jungles and against the backdrop of a setting or rising sun or under the stars. And so I'm always looking for opportunities to put myself in those situations with interesting people. Hence the Day Zero event that we have in Playa del Carmen, on a pyramid site in Mexico in a couple of weeks' time. So in terms of specific artists, no, but you know, I'm always on the lookout, so if anyone knows anyone cool, let me know.
Also another one. Do you think it's important for the Asian producers here to really focus in the European market to get that sort of hit, to get recognized? Or can they just focus in Asia and do what they do and slowly get the recognition?
Well, obviously music is a universal language, so I don't know whether... I mean, personally, I'd like to see artists in their home territories, if you like, creating music and sounds that mean something to them personally and culturally are unique to them. Obviously, running a record label, I get sent hundreds, if not thousands, of demos a week, a month, most of which tends to sound very similar. I think that producers just starting out have a tendency to look at what's cool or hip at the moment and to try and replicate that. And for me, that I find that a little annoying, because I think that as a artist coming through, the way to be discovered and for your sound to be experienced is for you to have a unique voice and for you to bring in your personality and your background. So I would like to hear music coming from Asia that feels Asian and is being manipulated and crafted in a way that would suit my DJ set. So that's what I'm looking for.
Any tips for us in Asia in terms of personality, style, or whatever?
Just be true to yourself and keep it honest.
Cool. What about you guys? What do you guys think about production, being in Asia and to break out into the Western world?
Well, I think I agree with Damian. It's really important for people to stamp out an original sound and not to just copy what's happening in the West. I think there's been a few examples of where, Australia with Melbourne Bounce, that has definitely made a mark on, I would say the West scale of music. So that was really good to see. Go Aussie. But it would be really nice. I think it sometimes does happen in the techie world where you'll get a beautiful, Indian instrument, sitar playing. So I think if you get some artists from your regions that, bring those instruments into dance music, I think it could be a great opening.
What was your breaking point when you guys made that to that level, when you got discovered? What happened?
I think our breaking point kind of came before we became Nervo, because we were working for a lot of other artists behind their music. And then I think eventually, once we had a bit of success with our songs for those guys, then we decided to come up with the name ourselves. And so we picked Nervo and we became what we are now. But so I think
it's been stepping stones each and every way. Originally we didn't really want to be artists. We just wanted to be producers. Yep. And then it evolved into what we are now. But it's still changing and moving again. We're now looking at artists in Japan, for example, because we write a lot for the Japanese market. And it's very different to the rest of the world, J-pop and K-pop. Yeah. And we're even working with different teams in Japan purely for different areas in music. So that's something that's also new and fresh in our world. Yeah.
Boon, what do you want to see more out of Singapore? What do you want to see more out of Singapore from our local scene here?
Well, I would like to see more local talent really step up. Yeah, I see a lot recent years. So they actually got released by a major label in Europe. So there's a lot of talents in Singapore. With this club owners giving them the opportunity and space to actually express themselves. Radio support is definitely one that we needed badly in Singapore. We needed a proper dance music station in Singapore. The only way for us to move forward. Yeah.
Speaking of radio, Arjun, is there a good portal where the media is playing underground music
In
India
India,
for now?
in India, English music, no. Let's forget underground. Just even, I mean, we have a lot of radio stations, and I think a few years ago somebody tried to do an English radio station playing just English pop music. It didn't work because the numbers just don't add up. It's as simple as that. Majority of the population is in the villages. They don't speak English. So to have underground radio station is very far away. But we do have a lot of online shows. So we work that way. It's working from the ground up, so to speak.
So there's not much support from the media. So when in terms of promotions, it's all social media on your side?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all DIY, completely DIY. Everything is, you know, I mean, we do pretty much everything ourselves. India has a very rich heritage in music, and we've got, you know, it goes back to I don't even know how long. So the government and media and stuff, that's what they support more. Obviously, they support the more traditional forms of music. And you know, in India, you go 100 kilometers any direction, everything changes, including the music, including instruments. So there's so much already of that. So the pop culture doesn't really fit into that equation in India at the moment. I think it's changing. I hope it does soon. But at the moment, no, we don't.
Can I ask, do you guys have satellite radio then in India? Can people listen to overseas radio stations?
Yes, satellite radio actually was really big a few years ago, but now everything is online, so people are listening to online radio stations a lot. I mean, like you said, your fan base grew. India is very much online. Like people really research music, they research artists. If there's somebody playing that they haven't heard of, they will check them out. They will listen to their music.
Cool. What about Bangkok, Celeste? Any cool radio stations that help promote like really good music?
For electronic music, right? Yeah. Actually, in Bangkok is not really have any media support electronic music at all. They just launched a month ago magazine Asia, is in Thailand, and have very small online electronic music like a UB radio or something, but it wasn't success. The problem is, I think, the big record label in Thailand is called Grammy or ICE Promotion. They bought a lot of their own radio station, which is launch their own song, like a Thai pop or rocks, any bands, and they have a lot of advertise to support all the radio station or any media that make a small radio station which play electronic music cannot survive because they have no advertise, no sponsor, so it's not really have channel to listen at all.
All right, so I'm guessing, and I mean, the power of social media now, it's like the main portal for you to spread your
absolutely.
music.
I mean, it's funny, we just spoke to somebody yesterday who's got this tool to sell peer-to-peer tickets, for example, and stuff like that is what we really need in India, you know, to really empower people to help between their own circles and between their own communities, help push tickets for gigs and, you know, just promote things like that.
I might jump in here.
Go ahead.
I think this year at Tomorrowland, it was the first year that there was an Indian DJ there. And I think
Who is it?
I met him, and I remember he came up to me and he's like, I'm the first Indian DJ that's ever played at Tomorrowland. So I think it would be really good if you have these moving festivals like Ultra when they go to Japan or Korea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but do they have local talent that actually plays at a peak slot, you know, on the main stage? Like I know in Australia we just played at Tomorrowland at Stereosonic. Thank you,
I think
Frankie.
it's a very good question. We do, but we need more.
Yeah, because what I really thought was great about Stereosonic is they had Australian artists on the main stage at really great time slots.
Yeah, that were really big in that market. So
And
it
they
really
killed
encouraged the local artists to, you know, get the stage time that they need.
And it promotes Australian artists. So if you've got anyone from overseas that's coming to see the festival, next time they're doing their lineup, they might, you know, take a wild card and book those guys who are big in Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of happening in India a little bit now because There are quite a few artists from India now signed to really good labels. And if people like, if Adam Bear and Richie Horton can play your music, then you surely, if you have the experience and the talent, you should be able to play a main stage. And that's changing now, and a lot of artists are fighting for it. Because they're like, okay, we're putting in our dues, we're working hard, we're making the music, and getting on the Beatport charts and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's time. Like I was saying, it's important for Asia to come together and sort of say that, okay, we've got talent here, we can push each other and travel within the region, sort of thing.
Damian, I heard you have a cool little festival going on in Tulum. Any chance of bringing that here? Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, Day Zero came about as a consequence of some of the things I was talking about earlier. A unique experience on the beach under the stars. It's an opportunity for a gathering of like-minded people to tap into an ancient culture, an ancient civilization, and I've been traveling into to Tulum and Playa del Carmen for many years, pre the BPM festival, and I've always felt that the connection with current present-day Mexico and Mayan culture was quite tenuous, and being in that region, it struck me that there was an opportunity to bring the two things back together. So we found this very beautiful pyramid site in the middle of the jungle, and we bring in astrologers on the top of the pyramids and Mayan warriors to perform throughout the event, and the music is supplied by, for me, some of the most happening and cutting-edge musicians and underground DJs from around the world. So this will be the third year. We are currently talking to some people about expanding the idea of Day Zero and bringing other cultures together. I very much like the idea of Day Zero India and Japan at some point, but it's for some time in the future, yeah.
Cool, we can talk more about this after. All right, pretty much sums up the topic about East meets West. Maybe I'm going to open up to the floor for some Q&A. If you have any questions directed to any of them, just raise your hands and introduce yourself and just direct the question. Yes, Mr. Champino. Can we give him a mic? Sorry.
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about China, about India and Japan. So I have a question about China. What are your thoughts about China and the EDM market in China?
Well, we recently just went to Shanghai, and it was the first time we were there. We played it wasn't a festival, it was a
club. It was kind of like a VIP Models and Bottles club.
Yeah, and what I found interesting about it is, well, obviously because we couldn't tweet or we couldn't Instagram or we couldn't do any of our normal online promotion or hyping that we normally do when we're on tour because it's all banned there. So I don't know what the Chinese have themselves, maybe you guys can tell us, but I'm sure they've got their own channels, but as an artist, trying to go out there and promote and stuff like that from our own channels, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it was. And we also found a lot of the people that were there were from
expats.
Expats or from Brazil, from South America. So it was it was a great first experience, but it was very different to what we expected. Also, the dance floor had tables in the middle of it, so you literally had 3 feet of people who could dance, and then you had people, spraying champagne. So it was, I think if they, that was our one experience. I think if they turned it more into a club where people can properly lose themselves and dance, then I think
it might help the scene.
Yeah.
I think the topic of China didn't come up because I think not many Chinese experience we had. Have you?
My experiences are very limited, unfortunately.
But,
I play in Hong Kong, which and I see the crowd there really building and really growing into this sound. But yeah, I'm yet to go to China, but I'm very excited to get there. But not if there's only 3 feet of partying.
But I know Gilbert's in the crowd, and he has the awesome club Dragon Eye in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, like, his lineup, time and time again, is incredible. You know, he brought Solomon to Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Seth Troxler, like
We had all of that last year.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
At that club, actually, people
just
dance
kidding.
a little bit more,
Yeah,
even
people
though
do
it is. I mean, it's Hong Kong, so it's a little bit different, I guess. But
No, but yeah, I think Hong Kong is separate.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, Hong Kong itself is a different ball game altogether. But I think Arno is trying to focus more on the mainland China, which I think it still has to be discovered. I've seen little pockets here and there coming up. I'm intrigued by China too, but yeah, the stats didn't come out, so I didn't mention it. Okay, any more questions for anyone? It's open.
Hi, my name is Jay Slangen. This question is for Arjun and Celeste. Some of the artists on the panel were talking about, putting local sounds and local music integrating it into your own music and productions. Have you done that, and have you done it to any success?
Yes, I have, and it's sort of been done a lot over the years. That's the reason I choose actually not to do it. I purposely choose not to put any Indian elements in it. I used to have a live act called Jalebi Cartel, and we had one of our percussions used to play the tabla as well. We had like sitar sounds in it. We had flute sounds in it. There's a whole music movement called Asian Underground, which is very influenced by the Indian traditional sound. It's a very UK sort of thingy that they did, and it became very big in India at that time. But it was done to death, at least in our country. It was played at every bar, every hair salon, any place that had a PA system would play it, even elevators. They stopped playing elevator music, they stopped playing Kenny G, and they played that. So it basically was done to death, at least in India. So therefore I choose not to do it.
For me, I have collaborated with Sonic Vista Ibiza. So we have a team to produce the new EP going to launch in summer 2015. Actually, I planned to blend local Thai music sound with electronic music. Actually, done a couple track, but it feels like I add too much Thai sound in it. Like for Thai people, it's lovely, it's cool, you keep traditional. But for foreigner from Western, maybe not get the sound. Is it too cheesy or too not gonna be hit? So I feel not released it. So we reproduce again, and this one is going to blend just the right amount of sound. Maybe a touch of it is gonna be good.
Can you please introduce yourself as well, sir? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Seoul from Seoul Republic. My question is, what do you see for the next 10 years of the EDM, and specifically for Nervo? How do you like to working with your sisters?
We love working together. We're like every normal sister that has their
Squabbling time.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it makes our touring life so much more fun, because we always have a friend to try the new food with, or to check out the new hotel, or just general day in, day out stuff. We also have that support network, always someone you can trust and you like hanging out with. So yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, we love it. And the next 10 years of music, I mean, everything goes in peaks and troughs, doesn't it? And then now at the moment, EDM is big, but that gives room to another area that's growing. So I think it's just going to continue like that. In the 90s, like rave music was, well, for me, it was really popular. That was, what everyone listened to.
But I think what we're seeing now is we're seeing a lot of EDM artists becoming like pop stars. So you've got the Calvin Harrises and the Martin Garrixes, and so I think it's really exciting that hopefully that means more festivals and bigger festivals, more people.
And different music as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
Hi, I'm Jackie from a creative Scene Plus, creative architectural company. We're based in Asia and have some places in Europe as well. I was just going to ask, sorry, I've written my question down so I didn't forget. How important is the visual experience for festival goers? So Damian was discussing about his backdrops, and as an architectural company ourselves, how do you differentiate a good festival? How do they kind of get more people to come, to join? And what's important for you guys when you're on your sets?
I think visually for us, it can change a lot because you'll go to one festival and your stage will have
Screens,
yeah,
CO2, fire,
pyro, and they'll take it really seriously. And then you'll go to another festival where they're a little less focused on the visual aspect. Obviously, we have our own visuals that we refresh we're trying every 6 months, but it tends to be more about 10 months.
But I think every little bit helps. Now people are really stepping it up in the game. So when you play at Tomorrowland on the main stage, it's almost insane. Every single drop, and in our world, that's every 20 seconds, has, production flying from one angle, whether it be... And I think, in America, because, more is more in America, so they have helicopters dropping confetti, and they really are stepping it up. And I feel if a festival doesn't have the money to really invest in all of that extra money, in that production, they can do it in other ways, more artistic ways. Maybe the set can be, like you can have paintings on it, or be a bit more creative in that world. So
also these days we're being asked before the festival if we want to contribute to the production, so we can actually give some of our fee back into the performance. Obviously a lot of artists also bring out tour managers that manage that side of things,
and VJs
and that kind of thing. So I think that's definitely a side that's growing, and we're constantly thinking about ways to improve our show. And I know on the tour managers and the management side and the agents work really hard at getting that all structured in the deals to make sure the show is better.
And I think the people still like it. I think people, they're just, they're overconsumed by so many effects that now they kind of expect it. So.
Cool. You can catch them tonight at 9, and then Damian on Saturday at the pool party for the Zouk Recharge. I just want to thank you on behalf of W Hotels and IMS for attending this segment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.